Hello, fiber fans, friends, and followers. My name is Beth, and I'm here to talk to you about all of the yarny things I've gotten into recently. Today, I am recording in the middle of July, and this is a bit warm on me, but I've got the air conditioning on, so I'll be okay. But I will be talking about what I'm wearing, as well as what I have been working on this last week. And then I will jump to present day me to talk about what I'm currently working on and any new objects I have and any unfinished business that may need talking about. And then I'll jump back to summer me to say goodbye. Does that sound like a plan? All right. So what I'm wearing today, this is a poncho that the pattern design is by Cheryl of Wise Owl Knits. And I did modify this pattern to some extent, but only the finishing of it. I did the collar a bit differently than what she had in the pattern, and instead of sewing buttons on the side, is that the side? Yeah, on this side, I just sewed the two sides together and attempted to make it look seamless. So all the notes on that are in my project page on Ravelry. I don't remember the design name at the moment, so I will have that up on the screen. I forgot to add that to my show notes. That this was sort of like, what do I want to wear today? And I just kind of, at the last second, went, ooh, I love this poncho. So you'll see that on the screen, and all the details are in the description below. This is, I know it's Berroco yarn, I think. Is that right? I believe so. At any rate, description below. Check it out if you want to know. But this is one that I started, it was like my main project for a brief period of time. And then for, I think it was 9 months, I worked on it 2 rows a day until I completed it. And I could not be happier. It has been complete for, at the time you're viewing this, it will have been complete for a full year. I believe, I remember my goal date having been August 31st, which would have been 2024. So, yeah, that was such a great way to complete something that took a lot of time, like row by row. But when you break it up into a day at a time, it really becomes that much easier. Which brings me to my works in progress, because I have one of those right now that I'm working on. And where did I put it? I am working on Prairie by Locatelli. Oh, I didn't realize I left it sitting so far from the table. So this is La Prairie, and I have modified this pattern to remove the bobbles. So if you saw my last episode, you will have seen all of the troubles and woes I've been through with this, where I was trying to decide what to do as far as what length to make it, how much width to add under the arm, and I did do some modifications there, and I think that may partially be because I decided to do this without the bobbles, because I don't particularly enjoy knitting bobbles. So here it is right now, and I have been, you can see all the ends where I had undone things and redid them. I have been working on this one 2 rows a day, because doing these tiny, this is fingering weight yarn. It is, you know, a full adult sized cardigan. And I have been just plugging along at 2 rows a day, and I am really enjoying the fade that these colorways are making. This is Herd of Cat yarns, and it is her road trip yarns. I don't know if she's still making those, but details on everything is linked below. So I'm enjoying how this is coming along, and haven't really had any hiccups in it. I've been thinking the last few days, maybe I should look at the pattern again to see that I remember that I am supposed to keep going like this. I can't imagine in the body of a cardigan there's a whole lot of different new directions to do. I mean, when it's growing by 2 rows a day, that is not much on a fingering weight yarn. I think I'm getting something like 38 rows per 4 inches. So, you know, it's really a negligible amount that I am getting each day. So I know it's not growing by much every day. But it's coming along. I'm very happy with it. I haven't tried it on recently, but you know, again, it's growing so small each day. I mean, if you think, if I've done 7 days of it, that means 14 rows, which is maybe 1.5 inches. So not a whole lot growing on that. One thing that I have been doing, my sort of mindless object that I'm working on, is my Berroco blanket squares. And this week, I don't think I made much progress. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm looking at what's in the bag. I showed these 4 squares on my last episode. And then this time I did start the new one with the different cast on, but I was out the last time I was working on this and I ran out of yarn. So I need to cake up my next skein in order to get this moving again. So I didn't really do a whole lot on my blanket squares. So this is going to be another, this will be my 3rd February square, which the motif looks like this. I've got to do 6 squares just like this. I use all of the colorways that the project requires. So I don't remember what my next color will be on this one, but it's really essentially the same square. And it is fairly mindless. There's, you know, you do a plain row and then 2 decrease rows and continue on that way. And then switch colors every so many rows. So that's all the progress I've gotten on my blanket square. It is in Berroco Vintage yarn, again, linked in the description below. The one that has been getting the most attention from me is this project. It is the Budding Brioche Blooms by Jennifer Shiels Toland. Oh, you know what? Before I go on, I recorded earlier this week because I thought things could go wrong here. So let me record while things are still going okay. So here's me. Hey guys, just wanted to pop in and show some progress that I made on my brioche shawl. So I have 2 full repeats of the 2-color brioche section. This is the simple part. And I am about to go into the part that has all the increases and decreases to kind of make the lines curvy and stuff like that. And so I've got 2 lifelines in this. One, you can kind of see the line right in here where I put it. That is after a single repeat of this section because I'm not sure if I'll have enough yarn to complete all of that edging section. So if need be, I can rip back everything up to that line. And then I also have a lifeline here so that if anything goes wrong and I don't need to rip all the way back to that line back here, I can just go from there. So I am expecting some difficulties, some hiccups, some bumps in the road, and hopefully future me doesn't need to thank past me for doing this because it'll just go smoothly. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so since then, surprisingly, I have not had to rip anything out. I am having difficulty seeing how the pattern is really developing in this brioche section. I want to try to show it to you without clicking yarn needles against the table too much. But yeah, I guess I can see what it looks like with the things opening and closing. Now, this morning, I was working on this. Actually, last night is when this thought occurred to me that, I was thinking, I'm getting kind of low on yarn. And so here's how much I have left of the green color. And here's how much I have of my purple. So really like partial cakes of each. And I started out, I think, with 50 grams of each of these in order to do this whole edge that is on this project. And as I've said in my previous episodes, I have altered the pattern. I'm using a different weight yarn than was called for. I have added rows to it in order to make the most out of my yarn. And I am now at a point that I'm like, what happens if I run out? I don't want to get all the way to that point and then find out it's not going to last. So I counted how many rows I have left. Each colorway has 6 rows left. Actually, I've only got 5 rows left now with this one. Because I did 1 row of this morning. And what I did to make sure that I'll have enough yarn to finish the project is I weighed the cake and then I knit 1 row and then I weighed the cake again. So when I started the row, I had 22 grams of this. And I thought, okay, let me divide that by 6, and it's, more than 3, less than 4. So I thought if I have 19 grams left at the end of that row, then that means I'm only using 3 grams per row, and I'm good to go. The only thing that kind of made me a little hesitant with that was I know that there will be some more increases in this, and I don't know exactly how many. I haven't really counted that up, but I don't know how to predict how much more yarn that uses. So I did, when I finished that row, I came out to, so I started with 22 grams. After the row, I had 20.5 grams. And I'm like, wow, even if we generously say the scale could have been off by a little bit, 2 grams, and I have 6 rows. Well, no, now I only have 5 rows left, because I did that first of the 6. I was going to say 6th, but that didn't make sense. Anyhow, so I did the row and using 1.5 grams, I should have plenty of yarn even with the increases. So that gives me hope. Although I feel like, in the same way that swatches lie, I could see weighing my yarn could lie, especially since that's a serious unknown how much more yarn I'm going to use on each row as the stitch number increases. So I guess we shall see what happens. I do think I'm pretty certain this is going to work out, and I just need to stay the course and keep on going. Now, I will say, this morning when I was knitting, there were a couple of places where I made a mistake and I was like, oh, I don't know how to fix this. I went back and I thought I was unknitting correctly, and then I looked at things and went, wow, that's really loose there. Did I do something wrong? Did I go down too far? What did I do? Why are these stitches so wide open? So I don't know. I haven't looked that closely at it. And part of it too, this was early on in the row. So I was thinking maybe it won't matter because I am going to pull back and, try to do the edging with fewer rows. And then when I got to the end of the row and I had enough yarn, I was like, oh, now I really need to make sure that what I did was correct, or else maybe rip back to my second lifeline. I was going to start explaining about lifelines, but that I remember was in the thing I recorded earlier this week. So I've already talked about that. But I mean, it's funny, you can see where the lifelines are in this. There's a very definite line that you can see, but I think this is going to come out fairly well, even with mistakes. It's hard to see because it is kind of scrunched up on the needles, but I'm excited to see what it looks like when it's finished. So this is, I don't think I've shown the whole thing yet. So here it is in all of its glory, to the best of my ability to show it. I may have said this before, but I don't love these colors together in general. And I may or may not ever wear this, but I love the way it feels. It is like squishy and, there's a little bit of yak in the yarn. It has, it was a set. It was like a set of colorways from Expression Fiber Arts. And I'm guessing I got a really good bargain on it. I don't remember the details. I probably could go way back in my episodes when I first started this to find out what it was that attracted me to this. But I do like how it's coming out. I'm happy with it. And this, if for nothing else, this is a great lesson in just exploring the difficulties that you're having and overcoming them, because I feel like such a sense of relief that I went through the difficulty of going back to this and trying to get it correct, trying to get it how I want it to be. I did have to alter some of the, with my experimenting, I didn't have enough stitches in the first section on either end to get the right pattern for what the pattern called for. So I had to do a little bit of my own personal redesign of it, which really wasn't a lot. On the first, I think what she calls budding brioche edge, there was an increase of 4 stitches and a decrease of 4 stitches in each 20 stitch section. So in the first and last section, I did the increases and not the decreases because I needed 4 more stitches. So that was a simple fix for that. We'll see how it ends up looking in the end. I don't know that I'll love it, but I'm happy I got through it. So this was definitely a worthwhile endeavor. If you guys have anything lingering in your whip pile that gave you huge headaches, go back, look at them, finish them, and be proud of yourself for it, because it's worth it. It makes me feel so good to have that done. So, off my soapbox, and now I'm gonna throw it over to present day me to go through works in progress and whatever new to me I have and unfinished business, and I will be back with you at the end. Hello from present day me. Today is Sunday, October 5th. I am recording amid a very, very busy time in my life. We have been painting my kitchen. We are expecting new flooring to be installed October 14th. So I have a lot of stuff that just needs to be moved. One of the main things is my hermit crab tank. So I've got to get the hermit crabs moved into a different thing so I can empty out all of the sand and the water and everything and get it detached from everything and move. It's a 75, is it 75 or 100 gallons? It's a big tank. And anyway, so that's got to get out of the room, and I'm feeling very much overwhelmed with everything that needs to get done before flooring gets installed. So, plus, I'm working on my Stephen West knit along, which I am not going to show today. I am still in the middle of Clue 1, but like I said, I've been busy with household stuff, painting the kitchen. Anyhow, today I am going to draw the winner for this bag. And my question about this one for people to answer was, what other hobbies do you have in addition to knitting and or crochet? And I was expecting most of you to give me fiber examples. And I will say most of you do have fiber crafts. I strongly encourage, if you're interested in knowing what your fellow knitter friends are doing, go ahead and look back on, it would have been 2 episodes ago, where I gave the prompt for the Sandy bag. And it sounds like a lot of you are very enthusiastically participating in many different fiber adventures. And some of you have other things that are not fiber related. Somebody said watercolors and a couple of other interesting things. So I feel like I need to get to know each and every one of you individually so we can sit and talk about all of your other crafting things, because I'm just like, I don't know, am I nosy? Does that make me nosy? I'm just so interested in what everybody else does. I gotta say, whenever I meet somebody who has anything to do with farming, I'm always asking them all kinds of questions, because I just think farming is fascinating. It's like such a different lifestyle that, like, you own the farm. You don't like just check in. You're sick and you still have to feed the cows, you still have to milk the cows, or whatever the situation is. If you're planting crops, I'm sure there are some days that, for the most part, you really don't have to do anything other than kind of look around and make sure everything's doing all right. But I think most farmers that I've met also have animals that they take care of. So anyhow, I've gone off on this tangent because I am getting ready to draw a name, and it looks like a lot of you liked this bag, so I am going to, one just flew out right away. This must be the winner. It is Pat Potenzo. Pat, I know you live not too far from me, so if you'd like, I was just talking about I should get to know each and every one of you, and we can meet up, we can plan a time to sit and knit together. Although I don't know that I have time before my flooring gets installed, so we'll have to talk about it. If not, I can certainly mail it out to you. So let's talk. I'll put my information up somewhere for you to see, and until then, I hope you all are having great knitting success. I hope you're enjoying this season, as it's here in Illinois. It's supposed to cool off over the next couple of weeks, and I'm like, oh, here it comes, everybody. Get your woolies ready. Now back to past me. Wow, present day me. That's amazing. Okay, so I hope all of you are getting through all of your works in progress in speedy fashion or in slow fashion, whatever it is that floats your boat. And I want to remind you that you should like, subscribe, survive, and thrive. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.